I'm in charge of directorship for Global Educational Center for Engineers and Innovation Center for Engineering Education. So much engineering education. I'm more like a control tower at Seoul National University. So today I'd like to share my experience for the last a year of pandemic crisis, so that how we could overcome and still struggling how to deliver our education to the students in terms of AI education. So as you know, we are having second wave in the winter. It looks like but this virus is very strong in the winter weather. So I hope that we have a vaccine soon, and then we have a better next year than this year. Maybe that's the way that nature found their way to strike back to human beings, because our population is humongously increased, and maybe they're smarter than us how to survive themselves. Anyway, before Corona pandemic, we had a lot of efforts like Digital Hollywood University and Hokkaido University. We also did um, like efforts in delivering digital education, especially AI and machine learning, because students are so much interested in those topics, learning the modern computer technology and AI. So whenever we have this kind of a classes, like micro learning classes, you can learn both math and algorithm. And there are a lot of enrollments, so that we need to expand the class enrollment. They bring their laptop, and after learning the mathematics right away, they can do practice for their programming. So it is so popular, and we have a need to address their desire to learn, especially by doing the practice. And some of the students are very struggling to learn coding, so that we provided like a tutor system, so that learning students are paying a little bit, and then tutor actually get paid better because the university put some money on that. But this had to be stopped as soon as we had a crisis from COVID-19. And like 3 years ago, we felt that, oh, for non-AI specialized students, also we got to have a classes for mostly a practice. So the AI, big data, IoT, they can learn also together with their own specialty. It's not for the computer science or electrical engineering student. It's more like a non-major, non-AI major students. So this was the class with 100 enrollments per semester, and we had like a 100 GPU server, so that it was very successful. Student enrollment is getting increased, and still it's ongoing, but with the non-contact way of education. Another class was cybersecurity and blockchain. That's less popular than AI, but still, students are very interested in learning this too. And as you know, we emphasize like a hands-on, the making production using a lot of fabrication tools, so that we provided them makerspace like open 24-hour with the good security, and they can do whatever their projects with the hands-on very much, so they go for the national competition festival, and students were very happy, and we were happy because they learn not just by theory, not just by using computer only, so they can make something. But all of a sudden we have a COVID-19 like you. So we had to change the way of teaching IoT AI big data class. First, two or three TAs did coding practice session like Zoom, and then one TA actually provided skeleton code and explained, and other students actually helping out with the chatting box. um, or maybe with the separate communication with that students. But we have like 100 students taking this class together. So we got to run the real like a bulletin board so that student can ask questions anytime. Also, we had a separate real-time question and answer session by the TA. Like this class was held like every Friday, but then TA session was held like Wednesday, so that students are not complaining too much. And we know that it's a more efficient that TA actually helping in front of you by touching your keyboard, but that was not really possible. Still, it's a more like a digital class, so efficiently we can help out the students' problem real time, and then maybe during the week. So that was like a example of a bulletin board, so student can ask questions, maybe anonymously, so that they feel more comfortable. Also, office hour for 1 hour was regularly scheduled. It was not done previously, but only for this year we had this kind of a new office hour session. And it was like this, so that main TA using Colab, they do lecture through Zoom. And then also each one of a student log into their Colab because it's a free and it's a very efficient way of teaching AI. And two sub TAs actually answering the questions like by chatting box or so some other ways. And we had a challenge exam. Challenge exam is like a specified time and then specified problem. They can do compete each other, and then there are actually certain way of solving this problem, but it takes like 4 hours or 5 hours. One topic was image classification, and the other one was the behavior cloning. And one challenge exam, we didn't provide the internet, so the restricted computer system with the GPA, GPU, and then data sets were embedded in that, so that student has same condition and they actually find a way to solve that problem. And two cheat sheets were provided, allowed because I mean maybe student have no idea up in the air, so that they can actually have a better information to tackle that problem. And the other session about the behavior cloning, also either using TensorFlow or PyTorch, using the skeleton code provided, they do um, uh, also that's a more like a through the Colab environment. So whatever they can do, they try to solve the problem given the time constraint. And then that's same. And then especially TAs were very careful about proctoring the exam. So their microphone and then camera was on for each student, and then their mobile should be turned off. And because of the fairness. And for that October, it was better than now or before. So that we had like a IoT session with the social distancing, so that student actually sit uh, every other seat, and then some of the students were not really comfortable participating even in the distancing practice session. So that IoT session was done like this way: hybrid, contact, and non-contact section together. And after this class, we actually do also project class, so that student can do their project whatever they want, choosing their own topic, the method of doing AI. But this was done 100% online because it's a project class, and I don't think a student actually is in the phase of a learning, more like in the phase of accomplishing their project based on what they learned. So this is an example, so that they're having like a group meeting, and then they have a meeting minutes, so that it's a provided to me. And then also it was a summary of their discussion within the group, probably Zoom session, so that it's also submitted. Blockchain project class was done in the same way. It had no problem because students by this time were very familiar with the Zoom chatting and discussion. Also, 100% of classes were done by online, like this. As an example, student group project using that blockchain media art. But then we always had a one TA for each group, so that it's more like a facilitating their discussion. Okay, I'd like to introduce um, physics and mathematics tutoring session before even they entered the university. So that student actually had a like a more like a chatting room. It's actually Kakao Talk, but probably about the WhatsApp or WeChat, so that they actually solve the problems. The TA actually try to give some grading, and then they ask question in the room. And also our professor gave them like an online YouTube session twice before they enter the university, because we see that now we have a more gap between the college actually curriculum and then high school curriculum. So it was our preparation before COVID-19, but it was very efficient because right at that time we were hit by the COVID-19. So what we can do after this crisis, people know that it's not going to be the same way like every university did before. And we got to change the way of our teaching and education, especially for digital education. And we want to use a MOOC system as well. And it's good that we already have this so that we utilize a lot of online contents for every other classes in the campus. Also, Seoul National University also develop a lot of online MOOC classes. Of course, we want to encourage international capstone project even after COVID-19, not having like 100% offline, but mixing with the online, so that I think it's a best approach for education, and we can have international capstone class and forum. We had actually online class exchange between Hong Kong University of Science and Technology and also University of Tokyo. It's actually short-term intensive classes. This is for the one semester, so it's 100% online, but this was like a visiting only 1 week. And that kind of on-site classes are still very efficient. Students love that course. And professors are also well prepared because he or she knows that he got to deliver that session within a week. So it should be very organized. Students love that. We want to mix those two different ways of teaching, online and on-site. I think hybrid teaching systems are most efficient, and also content. Student wants to see some contents, and we had a project by the student. We upload all those projects on our website so that they feel like their work is published on the website, and other students can access to the coding sources and project report. So the website hosting also should be used very efficiently. So conclusion, I think this crisis is nobody's fault. We gotta admit that, but thankfully we're ready. Technology, contents, and movement. We're still assuming that normal life will come back very soon, but maybe that's not the same life as we enjoyed before. We got to prepare for more aftershocks. We need to update the online contents. However, hands-on lab, campus live, diverse interactions cannot be replaced by anything. We miss that actually. Students, students complain a lot initially, but they know, oh, actually, this way of learning is also efficient. Teachers should change also, administration as well. Administration was very stringent, strict, but it's a different world, it's a different era. So I think it should be changed more for preparation of a post-COVID. Enjoy isolation if it's unavoidable. I always talk to students like that. So I just wanted to share that experience with all the audience. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much.